Hey everybody, Erika here. I wanted to drop in and share something with you. A word came to my mind about a few days ago, and that word was disagreement. I have no idea why this word came to my mind, but then I started to think about some things. I'm like, well, as people, what do we come in disagreement with? And I came up with three things in like a minute that I could think about what we come in disagreement with. The very popular one is we come in disagreement with people, other people, whether it's their opinions, whether it's their behavior. We come in disagreement with people all the time. I don't know a person who hasn't. The next thing I thought about was our circumstances. A lot of times we just don't approve of our current circumstances. We don't like the house we're living in. We don't like the job that we're on. We don't like, the market we got to go to, we have to go to or whatever. We come in disagreement with our circumstances a lot. And also, the third thing, which is very important, we come in disagreement with ourselves, which is not a good place to be. And I wanted to talk a little bit about being in disagreement, with yourself, because all of our choices in life, our circumstances basically that we're in that we don't like, has a lot to do with how we feel and how we think about ourselves. So you got to ask yourself a question. How do you feel about yourself? Are you in disagreement with yourself? Do you like the way you look? Because that's a big one. Do you like who you are as a person? Are there some things you wish were different about you as a person? Do you wish that your physicality was different? Do you wish you had a different nose? Do you wish your eyes were a different color? Do you wish you were built differently? These are things that every human being, believe it or not, and everybody may not, agree with this, or they may not even tell you that they've ever thought that way. But I can tell you right now, I have thought that way, especially when I was younger. I was in disagreement with who I was. I didn't even know who I was, number one, when I was younger. But there were some times I wish that I didn't have to wear glasses. I wish that I was built a different way. I wish that I could have gone certain places that I wanted to go. I just didn't have the money to go. I wish I went to a different school. You know what I mean? So there are a lot of things that I didn't agree with in my life. I just didn't do it. So I spent a lot of my younger years in disagreement with with myself, not even situations, with myself, because when you're in disagreement, like I said, it breeds over. So you just got to ask yourself those questions, because when you're in then this is I'm going to let you know how you're in disagreement with yourself. One big one is comparison. You're in disagreement with who you are when you compare yourself to someone else, and you look at other people and you say, okay, that's what I want to look like. That's what I want to act like. That's the kind of car I want to drive. That's who I want to be. Is how the car. I don't know where I got that from. I just threw it in here. But some of the choices we may make down the line. But a lot of times, that's how when you compare yourself to someone else, and you begin possibly to emulate someone else, which is not good. And how do we get to in disagreement with ourselves? Sometimes, most times, it stems from childhood. It's how we become in disagreement, especially with our physicality. Because in school, children can be cruel. Your peers and friends are very truthful, and it could be hurting. They can say some things they may not mean. Teenagers just spit things out, and they may not meant it, but it can start in your younger years. Sometimes we have those awkward years that we go through as children that, shape who we are when we go into adulthood, if we're not surrounded by the right positive people and the right messages. Is that, people, children call names and things of that nature, and you start feeling that, okay, somebody says you got a big nose, and then you grow up and you think that your nose is big, or someone might say, you got a whole lot of teeth or something. I'm just pulling stuff. You got a whole lot of teeth or whatever. So what do? You stop. You don't smile as much anymore. Someone tells you, oh, you're too loud, and you quiet down. So now you ain't smiling too much, and you're quieting it down, and you're trying so hard to stay out of the view of everybody because somebody told you your nose is too big, or whatever have you. It could be a million reasons why we come in disagreement with who we are. And a physical beauty is the first and foremost thing that we go to when that happens, because we can it's easier to change your physical appearance than it is to change your internal appearance, which is most important. It's easy for us to put on makeup and have cosmetic surgery, buy hair, wear wigs, put extensions in to change our appearance because somebody told us that we weren't good enough on the outside. So now we're going to buy everything possible, and we're going to have cosmetic surgery where nowadays women have lost and are losing their lives because of surgery. They're trying to change the shape of their backside, their butt, and they're trying to change this just overall physique, their physical appearance. They want to change that because they're trying to gain the approval of others. It's because they're in disagreement with who they are. When you agree with who you are as a person, it doesn't matter what someone else says. It doesn't matter what they say you should look like. It doesn't matter what everyone else looks like. You're okay with you're okay with what you look like. You could care less what someone else thinks about what's going on with your physical body. That starts from the inside. We have to learn how to feed our insides the right things so we're not in disagreement with who we are as a person. And let me tell you, it's a battle. When you're in disagreement with yourself, you got some things going on internally. When you look in that mirror in the morning, you're looking at yourself, and when you have spent majority of your time trying to be someone else, trying to look like someone else, trying to impress other people because you believe in your mind they won't accept you for who you are as an individual. So you put on this facade and you walk around all day being someone else that you are not. It is an internal battle, which is no joke, because you are the one who has to live with who you are. So every time you come home and you look at that mirror, you will be dissatisfied at the show you put on that day or many days before that for someone else to like you or accept you into a clique, an organization, so you can receive accolades for whatever it is you're trying for, instead of just going with your natural ability and the natural skill set that's been given to you, that's been gifted to you in life. It's not a place you want to be, because it'll cause depression. It'll cause you to feel bad. You're already in disagreement with yourself. Now you will begin to not like who you are, and it will continue, and it will spiral into depression, self-loathing. You won't want to do anything. You're sad sometimes, or most of the time, and you don't want to go out. You put yourself in isolation, or you become frustrated, and you become frustrated. On the other hand, sometimes it goes the other way. You completely cover your real being up to the point where you're extroverted, meaning you're over the top. You have completely pushed your personality aside to be someone else. And it's like, the thing about that is that, like I said, in that mirror, you go to that mirror every night because you got to look at yourself in the face, because you got to wash your face, brush your teeth, and all of that. And when you look in your eyes, you will be able to see that, not even see that, you'll be disappointed at yourself. You'll be really disappointed. And you'll look at yourself and you'll say, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Why am I behaving this way? And sometimes that's a conversation that we all need to have with ourselves. When you start spiraling out, when you start doing things that you've never done before to prove something, to prove that you're smart to somebody, to prove that you're beautiful to somebody else, that's a problem. That's a real problem. You got to strip yourself all the way down and look at yourself and be okay with who you are. Be okay with your nose. Be okay with your eyes. You got a unibrow, be okay with the unibrow. Be okay with the fact that, you got a size 11 shoe. Okay, and you about 5'2". I mean, you got to be okay with that. We're all unique individuals and we have our own gifts to offer. We don't need to be walking around here in disagreement with ourselves, because that disagreement just filters out through everything else in your life. You make bad choices because of disagreement, because you're actually, when you disagree with yourself and you put it on this facade, that means everything around you is a facade. So when you go buy that car, facade. When you pick out your clothing, facade. When you hit this restaurant, you can't afford it, but you hit this restaurant, facade. You hang out with the wrong people because you're putting on this facade, this fake person of who you really are. You choose the wrong people, you make the wrong purchases. I mean, your whole life, you buy the wrong house. Your whole life will be nothing but a lie. And if you don't correct it sooner rather than later, you'll go into a downward spiral where it'll take you a long time to dig yourself out. And I'm speaking from experience. Just chasing things down. Just chasing them down. Ooh, if I hang out with this person, I'll be liked and I'll get this. This will happen for me. That'll happen for me. Wrong. None of that stuff happens for you based on the wrong stuff will happen to you based on who you hanging around. If you're not hanging around with the right person, the wrong stuff. So I don't want anybody to get themselves in that downward spiral where you become depressed, and your life just goes in all disarray and all kinds of chaos and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people out here who are living chaotic, fake lives because somebody told them that they were not good enough, that they had to be somebody else to be successful, to be famous, to be whatever it is, to make them feel good about themselves. The only thing that's going to make you feel good about yourself is if you embrace the true, authentic person that you are. That is the only way you will have peace, clarity, happiness. All of it is the only way. And like I said, I am speaking from experience. So please do not live in constant disagreement with who you are as a person. Do some self-reflection, some self-evaluating, and check yourself and see what's going on internally, and ask yourself those questions. Every time you go to do something, why am I doing this? Am I doing it for the right reasons? Because if you're not doing something for the right reasons, the return on that will be void. There will be no peace, no happiness in the decisions that you're making. So just think about, what I'm saying. Just think about what I'm saying. And if you have any questions for me, please definitely drop me a message below this video and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Okay? Take care and be safe. Until next time. Bye.